Hi, welcome back to Detailing World. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of new products from Turtle Wax's ceramic hybrid range. First of all though, I think we need to sort out the lighting in here. There we go, now we can actually see what we're talking about. So you may have already seen a couple of posts from Turtle Wax and other Instagrammers, and they've released a couple of new products called ceramic acrylic, and we've got a black polish and a black wax. So today we're going to be testing these out, and these are designed specifically for black cars. And in fact, if we just take this polish here, you can see it comes out black. I believe also the spray comes out black as well. So let's just, I've got black polish all over my hands now. So yeah, and then we just spray a little bit of this onto the microfiber as well. You can see that comes out black and rather runny. So both of these products are designed specifically for black cars. We'll just read a little bit of information about the products before we dive into the detail. So starting off with the black polish then, because that's what we're going to be starting with. It says on here it's got precision polishing pellets, which removes scratches, swirls and other paint imperfections. Black pigmented polish and carnauba wax, so it fills light imperfection and leaves a deep, rich black shine. And SiO2 and acrylic polymers to help build a layer that repels water, harsh chemicals and helps prevent permanent water stains for months. So we're going to be using that. You can apply this by hand or machine. Turtle Wax have kind of sent out a few pads as well, so I'm going to be doing this by DA simply because the weather forecast isn't looking amazing today. Apparently it's going to be raining this afternoon, so I need to really crack on with this. And then it's the black wax. Now on the back of this black polish it does say to allow 24 hours before applying any toppers or other products basically. I'm going to be a bit pushed for time today, so I am going to be applying that and then applying this over the top. I may leave a panel where I don't sort of not contaminate, but use both. So I might do like this, leave this alone on one panel and leave this alone on a panel, and then do the rest of the car with a combination of both. Just see what happens long term wise. But yeah, this one. And then onto the black wax. This is in a spray bottle, and this says it's got hydroglide polymers, adds slickness for ease of application and removal. Black pigmented polish and carnauba wax fills light imperfections and leave a deep, rich black shine. So you can use this on its own without the need for using the black polish. And again, SiO2 and acrylic polymers produces a durable layer that repels water, harsh chemicals and prevents permanent water stains for 6 months. For months, sorry. So yeah, we're going to be testing those out today. So I've got a black Mercedes A-Class just popping around the corner, just going to be dropping that on the drive and then swanning off. So there's going to be no contact or anything like that there, so don't worry about that. We're going to be having to crack on with the details, so you're not going to see too much footage, I don't think, of the detail today, simply because, as I said, the weather forecast looks like it may rain from 1 or 2 o'clock onwards, so I really need to crack on. So speaking of which, let's dive into the detail. That's the car all washed then. I'm absolutely baking now. It's just suddenly got quite warm. I've never ran around a car so quick. So yeah, as I said, we're going to be using the Hybrid Solutions ceramic acrylic black range from Turtle Wax. It's quite a mouthful to say that. Well, basically Turtle Wax released a new line towards the end of last year, I think it was actually, called Hybrid Solutions, and then this is called the ceramic acrylic, and it's black polish and black wax. And I quite like the way they've sent this out, presented as a nice funky box, textured box lid that comes on this. But I'll quickly show you what they've sent out. I think this is obviously just for Instagrammers, YouTubers, other influencers that get sent this. So Joe Public will just be buying this off the shelf as standalone products rather than this whole presentation kit. So underneath here they've sent a few other little bits and bobs out. This is how it comes packaged. You take this off, and then underneath here, as I said, they've sent a couple of pads out. So we're going to try in these 2 different size pads, medium foam pads. They've also sent 2 nice microfiber cloths and a foam applicator as well. So as I say, I'm going to be doing this by machine, so I'm going to be using the Max Shine DA. It's the 8mm DA that I reviewed, along with a bunch of other stuff from Max Shine a few weeks ago. You can check that up here in a link to that video. So yeah, I'm going to run around with this quickly. So I'm not actually doing a correction on this car, I'm just going to be running around applying it by machine just to speed things up. As I say, the weather is giving possible rain this afternoon, so I really want to whip around this as quickly as possible. Also, hand polishing an entire car, just it hurts your shoulders and your elbows. It gets a bit achy after a while. So fair play to you guys who've got no other option other than to hand polish. It's quite a workout, and as I say, it's quite warm already. I've noticed a couple of scratches on the car as well. They've gone white, so that probably means they're down to the primer. I've not checked them out properly, but they're noticeable scratches. I'm going to see if this will fill them. So yeah, we'll try and get some 50-50 shots and all that jazz done. So less talking, let's crack on and test these products out. Okay, so to begin with, I am going to try it by hand using the applicator pad that they supplied. It does come out of the bottle a little bit quick, so just be wary of that. And I've taped up here a 2 foot by 2 foot square section, just see how that went on and see how it compared to the original paintwork around it. So yeah, first of all, just spread it on, and it does spread really nice and smoothly, really. It's quite a slick product. As I say, it's got black pigments in this as well. You can see that on the tape as I go over the edges there. So the idea with this product is that the pigment within the polish will add some extra blackness to the paintwork and just give it a bit of a deeper shine as well. I also test this on some white paint towards the end. Here I'm just literally finishing the section off just with some overlapping up and down movements, and then obviously going side to side as well to make sure the entire area is covered. And it's more about getting the pigment in rather than trying to correct or remove any swirls or anything like that. So with it all buffed off, then we'll just take a quick look at a before and after shot here. So you can see the bottom half, it does look a bit blacker and a bit deeper and glossier. I'm trying to get a 50-50 here, but it was very hard actually to try and capture just how much extra blackness there was to it, but you can see it in this shot just about. So that's the after side there, so before and then after, and you can see the greens and the trees, and everything just looks a lot glossy and a lot more saturated on that section that I've just polished. So here then, this is the polishing pad that Turtle Wax included with this kit. It does say on the bottle to just apply 3 drops. I applied 4. I didn't realise till afterwards, so I've been working in quite larger areas than I probably would normally do. But as I said, this was more about applying the product to the paintwork rather than actually going ahead with some corrections. So just spread the polish all over first of all then. And then it was a case of just working on speed 1 to spread it. Don't worry, I only do about 1/4 of the bonnet here, not the entire half. So speed 1 just to spread it, and then 2 or 3, depending what I'd flick to, just to work it in a little bit. I literally did about 4 passes each time. So this is just spreading it around, so I don't count this as a pass as such. And then yeah, we do the 4 passes in a moment. So I'll just speed through this and then we'll take a quick look in a moment. With it all buffed off, then again trying to get some 50-50s, just show how deep it looks. So that's the before and there's the after. Again, it does look a lot darker and a lot blacker. It's quite hard to show it on camera, and it probably didn't help that it was a year-old car, and I probably could have done with a much older car. Here we've got the scratches on the wing that I mentioned, so get it in focus there, just showing how much product I'm using. And we'll just again dab that around and did about half of the wing by hand here with this, and again just more seeing how well it fills in any little scuffs and scratches like this. And this is probably the worst scratch on the car. As I say, it's very white there, so it's more about seeing how this polish can try and make that less noticeable. So yeah, we're just working this in as you would do with any other hand polish, and then we just let that cure to a haze for about a minute or so, and then just give that a buff off after. And once again we'll take a quick look at a 50-50 there, so top is before, bottom is after. So yeah, I was in a rush to obviously avoid any rain that was forecast. I think this was the second or third person. I had another guy stop and chat to me. He was from around the corner actually, and he turns out he's into detailing, so hopefully he's watching this channel. If you are, hello. But yeah, that other guy there just talked to me, then talked to him all the time. I seem to know all the dog walkers on the estate, and he was just commenting how extreme it looked taking the number plates off the car. It just makes it a lot easier for editing the video, so I don't have to blur the number plates out. So once again, I'm just going to work around this entire car with this pad and polish combination, and I'll keep throwing in some 50-50s and before and afters. So yeah, we'll just speed through these, and I'll come back to you in a moment. So that's the driver's side done then. As you could see, I was doing the smaller intricate areas, the top of the doors, the mirrors and the door handles by hand, and then the rest just with the large pad. So we'll just take a quick look at the before shot here, and you can just see the difference, especially if you look at my pulsar reflection there. We'll go back to the after shot in a moment, and it looks a lot darker and a lot deeper. So here I'm just trying to show the spray wax. However, I don't film too much of this at this moment. It was hard to show any before and afters, any 50-50s or anything like that. But we do use this on top of the polish, which seems to be the best combination for that, and I'll mention that further in the video when we're in the garage. So yeah, I was just done the entire back end of the car just with the spray wax, just see how it looked and how it felt to go on. So as always with these kind of products, it's best to use little rather than too much. So it does suggest on the bottle 2 sprays per panel. I've just done 4 over the entire back of the car. So those 4 sprays do the entire boot lid, the rear bumper, and obviously around the sides of the rear bumper as well. And that was plenty. It wasn't too much product either. So sometimes you'll have the issue where you start smearing and it just becomes a bit of a pain to work a product if you apply too much. With this, 4 sprays around the entire back of the car seems to be the perfect amount. So yeah, I say the instructions on the bottle were pretty spot on. 2 sprays per panel, so that'd be 2 sprays on each door, 2 sprays on the bonnet, 2 sprays on the roof, and so on. And here I'm just working this in with the microfiber that they send. Flip it over and buff it off, and you get a really nice deep black shine from this. So back onto machine work then. At this point I think I'd packed up twice because it just kept spitting of rain. You could see it in the last shot a little bit when I was doing the spray wax on the back of the car. I was constantly trying to avoid the rain. So yeah, we're kind of like getting onto the last sections now, so all the passenger side, and then I've just got to do the front bumper after this. In a moment you will be able to see a good sort of comparison of the rear passenger door that I'm doing now compared to the front passenger door, and it's probably the best shot that I can really get to show you, just show you how much extra shine, how deeper and more saturated the reflection actually look in the polished side of the car. So here I have it then. The rear door's polished, the front door isn't. And I think you can just about see it there that the houses look a little bit sort of brighter and more saturated in the polished reflections. So it does show, it does add a bit of extra deepness to the paintwork. So again, back onto the spray wax then, just 2 sprays on this half of the bonnet, or 2 short sprays there actually. We'll work this in with one side of the cloth and then buff it off with the other side. And then in a moment we'll get onto some beading and sheeting shots, just see what the difference is between the polished side on the left and the polished and waxed side on the right. So we'll just buff this off now then, and we'll get into some water shots. So as always, you need to start off with a bit of rain simulation. So I've got the watering can out here. Just show some beading between the polished side on the left and the polish and wax on the right. I think it's fair to say the polish and wax seems to bead it off a little bit better there. And then when it comes to the sheeting, again, the polish and wax on the right seems to have this slight advantage over the sheeting, although the polished only side on the left sheets it just as well, to be fair, and you might even call that a tie. There's just a little bit less water remaining on the polish and wax side. And here's just some, I can't remember what side I'm doing here now, it's just some fancy beading and sheeting shots, because why not? So onto vertical panels then. Here I'm just applying the spray wax onto the front driver's side door, and again I'll just be leaving the rear driver's side door with the polish only. Just see again how the beading and sheeting compares on a vertical panel, although I expect the same results really, that the polish and wax side is going to do ever slightly better. So once again we'll just finish buffing this off, and we'll get the watering can back. So this is the front door, so again that's the beading rain simulation, and then we'll just sheet it off to dry the car. And as you can see, it does repel the water and sheet it off very well indeed. That will just take a quick wipe of a towel to get the remaining water off there. And then onto the rear door as well, again beads up just as well as the front door, and again the sheeting is up there as well, just almost equally as good. I think the best results really is a combination of the 2 products. And then finally, just because I can, I gave this little section of the rear door on the van a quick clean. There is some tar and iron on there, so it's literally just had a quick detail wipe down and a couple of squares taped up, just to show how much pigment is actually left behind. So that's why I'm using it on a white vehicle here. So yeah, with the polish applied on the left side and the wax on the right side, you can just about see there the difference between the two. We were getting closer, you can see the pigment that it's left in that square there. So this is the polishing square. It's much darker in that square. Then this took 3 hits of panel wipe to get this out, and then needed a bit of hand polish as well. So I don't suggest doing this to your own car. And this is the spray wax side, so a little bit of pigment, not as much as the polishing side, but it does leave behind traces of pigment from the spray wax as well. So yeah, with that all done then, we'll get back inside the garage. Right, so that's it then. The car has been done now with the ceramic acrylic, black polish and black wax in some areas, in fact all over, but in some areas it's only had the black wax. Just see what it was like. If you follow me on Instagram, I did do an Instagram live part way through this, and that was just talking about the weather. I was constantly just trying to keep ahead of the rain. Twice I had showers spitting, and as you can probably hear now, it is absolutely chucking it down. So yeah, apologies if that's why some of the video may seem rushed. I might have missed bits. I was literally trying to work this as quick as I could, so we'll just quickly go over some of my thoughts on these products then. Listen to that rain coming down. Right, so first of all, the black polish. If you've not used this before, be careful, it comes out of the cap quite quick. You end up applying quite a lot onto either your foam applicator or your foam polishing pad. Apologies if you can hear the rain on the mic there. It is really coming down now. I might try and get the camera back out in a moment and get some final beading shots. So yeah, if you're applying that, you might want to wear gloves. That's the state of the pad after I've used it. It was like that literally after the bonnet. and it pretty much stays like that the entire time you're using this. The foam applicator is pretty much the same. I use that in smaller areas. Just see what it was like to use by hand, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be using this by hand rather than by machine. It's a very oily, slick product, and a lot does go a very long way. It also has quite a long work time as well, so you can work it a fair bit. I tried getting rid of a scratch as well. It kind of touched it a bit, but I think it more filled it than anything else. And that leads on to another thing. I may not have captured it quite well enough on camera, but it does add some black to the paintwork. Where I've polished like one door and then not the other, you can tell the difference, and that is on that's a 19 reg Merc. Granted, I probably could have done with an older black car in worse condition, but this had a few scuffs and scratches here and there, and a lot of water spotting, and just basically, it's a car that's owned by someone who's not into detailing or anything like that. They just wanted a nice new car, and to them that's their pride and joy, which is great. But as I said, it's just got your standard sort of, it's washed at a hand car wash pretty much, so left to dry in the sun and all of that. So yeah, it did sort of add some extra gloss black. Moving on to the spray wax then, this again, it does spray out black. Again, I tested this on the back of the van. It does add a little bit of pigment, and again, I tested this on the back of the van as well. It doesn't add as much pigment as the polish. Also, I did do some like beading testing as well on the bonnet, and some sheeting testing. This beaded and sheeted just as well as with this on top. However, because I was chasing the weather and there was times where it was spitting and then I have to come out and dry the car, there was some watermarks left over, a few like on top of that. This helps get rid of watermarks as well. So what I'd be doing, if this is a product that you're going to look at, if you've got a black car, then the way I'd be thinking of these products is more like a colour enhancing glaze, like a ceramic polish glaze, all in one kind of product. It offers a lot of protection as well as I say, filling in swirls and bringing a lot of the black colour back to life. So what I'd be doing is maybe once every 3 or 4 months, apply this to your car, go over the entire car with this and really get that black shine back. And then maybe on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, probably fortnightly, go over with this as a top-up product. I mean, it does say on the back of both of these not to apply any other products after or within 24 hours. So technically I probably shouldn't have put this on top of this until I had 24 hours to cure, but I did because I can. So yeah, if you've got a black car, what I'd probably do is apply that every 3 to 4 months and then top up with that every probably 2 weeks or so, just to really keep that black shine and protection on the car. So all in all then, very, very good products. I know I say that quite often on this channel, but again, they've got the uses. If you've got a black car, that is absolutely perfect for black car owners, particularly for owners that may not be capable of using a machine polisher, because you can just fill in any defects with those. So absolutely spot on products to use. So huge thank you to Turtle Wax for sending out these products for me to test. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you smash that like button. If you're not subscribed to this channel already, please do consider subscribing. Also check us out on Instagram at DetailingWorldOfficial. I'm on there as randomly set if you want to see all the behind the scenes. Check us out on Patreon if you wish to support this channel. No pressure, no one has to. And with that said, I'm going to dive inside out of the rain. So see you in the next video.